Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of News Plus brought you from Plus Agency. This is Peter Lee again, and it's so nice to see you in another week. Plus Agency is a boutique agency looking after good deals in Lower North Shore, Upper North Shore, Sydney CBD, and some of the eastern suburbs in Sydney. If you're interested in residential real estate deals, please make sure you pay us a visit. We'll be more than happy to help you out. If you have property you want to sell, please make sure you pay us a visit as well to enjoy one of the best services you can probably experience in real estate industry in Sydney. We're a channel that's actually going to bring a summary of what has happened in Sydney real estate market in the past 7 days, plus a lot of data and rankings. If you're interested in this type of information, please make sure you watch it and then bring it to your friend, send it to your family who also may needed it. All right, with no further ado, let's get News Plus started. First of all, is another sale that was done in Circular Quay. We are really happy to be part of the transaction. Plus Agency, in conjunction with the Colliers International, has smashed the Australian real estate record in retail dollar per square meter rate again after we smashed it early this year. Now we have finally achieved another sale that's $153,358 per square meter. This shop, it was right on the water, it was in Circular Quay, and the final price we have reached $11.5 million. This is a winning offer from a private local investor actually ahead of this auction. The price represented an investment yield roughly about 4.8%. This is only 75 square meter property. It's among shops with Opera Quays complex at Circular Quay, which fronts the harbour about 400 meters away from the famous, unique world wonder Sydney Opera House. Property records show that property was owned by Cazell Brothers, which is our vendor, run by the businessman Carl Cazell, one of the brothers of the Cazell property development family. The Gillian Belgium chocolate cafe sales prices goes well past the previous high watermark for retail that sell for $132,000 per square meter, which was established in February, like I said, when the same owner sold a bubble tea and a juice shop next door. Smaller and 43 square meters, lot 11 occupied by Cocoa Fresh Tea and Juice, and that was 5.7 million on a 5.25% yield. Circular Quay has come to a very, very popular retail destination, definitely one of the best destinations for international travelers. The border is now open, but with COVID slowly phasing out, people are getting more and more relaxed of going overseas, and then we're gonna see a lot of people really lining up in this area. The transaction was brought by Colliers International, as we said, Director of Asian Pacific Market Joseph Lin, and his Sydney CBD Sales Senior Executive Angus Windrow, along with us, Plus Agency, Peter Lee, Fiona Young, and Sales Manager Leanne Pan. Seriously, the amount of inquiries we have received is absolutely amazing, and we are looking forward to another Australian record sales happening later on if you have your stock ready for us. Next one, Sydney Auctions. A nervous couple gets $350,000 surprise as the property market cools. A couple in Bondi Junction got a welcome surprise at auction when their garden unit sold for about $350,000 higher than the price they paid 18 months ago. 5 various groups registered to bid for one of the 2-bedroom units, one of the few units in the area with the backyard, and the hammer dropped down at $1.58 million, which is considered very good prices for a garden apartments in Bondi Junction. It's natural to be anxiety. There's a lot of emotions that's going to evolve into this market. Everyone was a little bit worried, but looks like the end result, on the other hand, prove otherwise. Even though the market is slowing as we're seeing it, but it doesn't seem like this is something that's happening everywhere. We still have very, very strong buyers coming through to different properties over the weekend. The number of inspections are really, really hot. A lot of places are still breaking records as we're seeing it, and we're gonna talk more about it in the later news. All right, still selling pretty strongly. When Sydney home buyers will actually be able to get bargains. This is what I'm seeing a lot of people asking for. Sydney home sellers still have their heads stuck in 2021, despite a slowing property market and growing hesitation from buyers. One of the city's top buyers agent has reviewed. PK Property Director Peter Keller revealed a widely distributed emails to clients that buyers may not be able to get great bargains until later this year because the sellers are still expecting higher prices. Sydney's housing market was booming last year but has become cooler over the past few months. The buyer said it was taking time for the vendor to adjust their expectations to the new conditions. However, that means a lot of failed auctions, both on the day and pull out before the auction days, and price reductions left and right and center will be what probably will happen. But you never know. This market is still very strong. A-grade stock is still going extremely well. Anything that is compromised in any way, which maybe C-grade or getting smashed. But this is what happens in the real estate market all the time. I know that people have been worried about the actual auction rate been dropping, but it looks like from the actual market, there are still quite a bit of sales happening all around the area. About records, the AFL star Phil Davis, $7.25 million North Bondi sale beats street record by $2 million with just one bidder. So a lot of time you don't really need a lot of bidder. That one bidder will do the trick. So AFL star Phil Davis boosts the street record by $2 million at the auction of his North Bondi house last night and was sold for a whopping $7.25 million, despite there has been just one bidder. Davis, who was captain of GWS Grands between 2011 and 2019 and remained as a key leader, bought the original home on a 375 square meter block at 24 Gilgaja Road for $3.075 million in 2019. This year he burned on board, have a price guide of $7 million. It looks like it's going all the door, and then finally sold at $7.25 million. The home is new, it's very contemporary. Extra highs, a lot of lights, everything is right on there. It's attracting people, but a lot of people doesn't believe in the prices. But when you had this one bidder, that is all it takes. So this street has got other sales happening, but only at about mid-5s, and now you're getting 7.25, which means, even though a lot of people are saying the market is cooling down, but it's still higher than a lot of people's expectations. Townhouses, dissenting buyers wanting more target these homes. A family-friendly townhouse in Bellevue Hills, Sydney's East has sold priority auction for $3.16 million, over $460,000 higher than the previous block record set in September 2021. Bought to market by Little Real Estate in the area. The 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartments at 1/23 Barangaroo Road sold on 22nd March priority auction. Data from CoreLogic shows the apartment period sold for $1.52 million only in November 2015, boasting tree lines, outlooks as offer privacy. Interiors of the apartment are infused with natural light and enhanced by custom joinery, floating floors in the cool tones, and the central kitchen complete with a fully integrated fridge. It's only about 450 square meters from Bellevue Hills Public School. Median property prices in the suburb of last year has been ranging from $7.4 million for houses and $1.25 million for units. So it seems like this type of property are still very, very attractive to buyers, and doesn't look like in the East the market has slowed down much at all. Our first-time investors bought 12 homes in 11 years. This guy is a good legend. It was an aha moment that led to this first-time investor saving about $180,000 in purchasing cost when building his own property portfolio, a strategy he says others would easily replicate. Many new investors find themselves forking out as much as $150,000 per property for a buyer's agent. PK Gupta saved himself the expense by coming up with a clever strategy allow him to invest without borders and avoid traveling to inspect the properties. In addition to researching the type of data used to develop capital growth forecasts, Mr. Gupta recruited property manager to inspect the property he was interested in buying, a tactic that went on to save him as much as $180,000 across his profile over 12 properties. Started back in 2011 when the Sydney decided to purchase his first home investment property in East Gosford. The guy says, I was just calling a few property manager to get the home choices and on-the-ground insights in reality of what was going on. And they were saying, instead of you having to drive for an hour and a half, we can do the inspection for you. Expected this to come to cost, but it was instead told they would go to the property free of charge in exchange for their subsequent services, such as a property manager. Defining moment for the investor who went on to buy 12 properties worth $8 million in 11 years with the help of property managers as well as through understanding of data. Looks like people are really buying, and then you don't have to be very super rich to get a lot of properties. Getting the strategy right, you can still own a lot of homes and be survived in this property price increment that has been happening for a while now. Going back to Carrie Ann, she has spent $13.7 million on her Double Bay harbourfront. This TV legend icon, the Queen of Australian television, Carrie Ann has spent $13.7 million on her Double Bay Harbourfront, having sold her longtime home, Woollahra home, last August on the delayed settlement terms. Inspecting dozens of downsized apartments, she had the one special criteria: had to be pet-friendly for her 8-year-old gold retriever, Digga. She's leaving Woollahra after 25 years with the then media host buying it through Bud Dolph, the veteran Double Bay agent who died last month. This is reported the house on the market at $2.16 million, which is knocked down after another 32 bids to her and her late husband John, who wanted space for his twin sets at about $2.49 million. And then they've got what they wanted. Alright, thank you so much for tuning into this week's News Plus. I'll see you next week. Bye bye.